Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Saturday. Got a lot of college football matchups on the board today, so be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my betting links in the description below to get in on the action. And go ahead and sign up at BroThrow, guys. Join my private betting group. I'll be posting a teaser here on BroThrow today, so go ahead and check that out before all the games start at noon. And yeah, go ahead and hop in there. And yeah, we'll hop in it, guys. College football should be a fun day. Starting with Cincinnati versus SMU. Cincinnati opening up as a 3-point road favorite with the over-under at 60. Cincinnati coming into this 5-1, 2-3-1 covering the spread. SMU 3-3, 1-5 covering the spread. Cincinnati 5-1. I mean, they're playing good. They losing that first game to Arkansas. Now they're on a 5-game winning streak. SMU coming off that 40-34 loss against Navy. They were on a 3-game losing streak prior to that game there. Cincinnati 9-1 on the road. Excellent road team here. 4-1, 5-1 straight up against SMU here. Yeah, I like Cincinnati here on the road, playing great. We'll take Cincinnati minus 2.5 and money line on the road. Next matchup, we got Iowa versus Ohio State. Ohio State opening up as 29.5-point home favorites with the over-under at 50. Iowa coming into this matchup 3-3, 3-3 covering the spread. Ohio State 6-0, 3-2-1 covering the spread. Iowa just 2-12 straight up against Ohio State. 0-7 on the road against Ohio State, so they really haven't had no success against the Buckeyes here. Iowa on a 2-game losing streak. I mean, this is just a horrible Iowa team that just struggles to score. Coming off a 6-point game against Illinois. Yeah, Ohio State back-to-back 49-point games. I mean, this Ohio State team's going to put up 40+. I'm just not sure I can even trust. It's a lot of points here, but man, Iowa just can't score. So, it's possible 30-point spread. That's tough, but man, just from what I've seen from Iowa, I just can't trust them offensively. They really hang around. Give me Ohio State minus 29.5. Throw them in a teaser too. Lower that to, if you can get them, man, do a 6-point teaser or something. Get them at minus 21 or something. Man, that'd be great. Next matchup, we got Syracuse versus Clemson. Clemson opening up as a 14-point home favorite with the over-under at 50. Syracuse coming into this 6-0, 5-1 covering the spread. Clemson 7-0, 4-3 covering the spread. Yeah, both teams undefeated here. Who would have thought Syracuse would be undefeated heading into the later portion of the year? Syracuse 4-1 covering against Clemson, but just 1-8 in their last 9 against Clemson. So haven't been able to beat them, but they have been able to cover. Syracuse coming off a 24-9 win against NC State. Clemson coming off that 34-28 win against FSU. I think this is going to be a battle here, and 2 undefeated teams. I just think the whole world's probably sleeping on Syracuse a bit here. I'm going to buy the 0.5 point. I'm going to take Syracuse plus 14.5. I think this is going to be a good one. I do expect Clemson to pull it out at home, but I think Syracuse might surprise us and make this a fun game. And I'm going to take Syracuse plus 14.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got Boston College versus Wake Forest. Wake Forest opening up as a 20.5-point home favorite with the over-under at 60. Boston College coming into this 2-4, 1-5 covering the spread. Wake Forest 5-1, 5-1 covering the spread. Boston College 2-4 straight up against Wake Forest. 1-5 on the road. Not a good road team here. Coming off a 31-3 loss against Clemson. Last year they lost Wake Forest 41-10. Wake Forest coming off a 45-10 win against Army. Yeah, I like Wake Forest here. 12-1 at home. Pretty dominant at home here. I'm going to take Wake Forest minus 20.5 and throw them in your money line parlays at home. Next matchup, we got Memphis versus Tulane. I'm only covering this because Tulane is in the top 25 because they're playing very good. Tulane opening up as a 7-point home favorite with the over-under at 55.5. Memphis coming into this 4-3, 3-4 covering the spread. Tulane 6-1, 6-1 covering the spread. Tulane, Memphis just 1-6 on the road where they have struggled. 2-5 covering against Tulane. Memphis on a 2-game losing streak. Back-to-back games, losing by 2 points to East Carolina and then 1 point to Houston. It's been a rough few games for them. And Tulane on a 3-game winning streak. Coming off a nice USF win. They're playing very well. Got good wins. They've beaten Kansas State. They've beaten Houston. This is a good Tulane team. And I'm going to take the 0.5 point. And I'm going to take Tulane minus 6.5 and money line at home. Next matchup, we got Ole Miss versus LSU. LSU opening up as a 1-point home favorite with the over-under at 64.5. Ole Miss coming into this 7-0, 3-4 covering the spread. LSU 5-2, 4-3 covering the spread. We got Ole Miss. Great season they're having here. They do struggle against LSU. I think that's why the line's in favor of LSU. They're 0-6 on the road against LSU. So they haven't been able to beat LSU. So I think that's probably why the line's like that. Ole Miss coming off that 48-34 win against Auburn. LSU coming off that 45-35 win against Florida. Starting to pick things up here. But this is just a different... Despite the numbers and the fact that Ole Miss hasn't been able to beat LSU, this is the best team they've had in a long time. And this is just a different kind of team here, offensively and defensively. I'm going to take Ole Miss +1 and money line on the road here to stay undefeated. Next matchup, we got Texas versus Oklahoma State. Texas opening up as a 6-point road favorite with the over-under at 60. Texas coming into this 5-2, 5-2 covering the spread. Oklahoma State 5-1, 4-2 covering the spread. We got Texas 2-5 covering against Oklahoma State, and they're 2-5 straight up against OK State. So I haven't had much success against Oklahoma State here. Texas coming off that 24-21 win against Iowa State. Oklahoma State coming off that 43-40 win against, or 43-40 loss against TCU. Tough loss for Oklahoma State here, but yeah, given Oklahoma State 6 at home, kind of crazy. I know Texas has been playing good lately, but Oklahoma State was been undefeated up until last week here, and they're playing great. Give me Oklahoma State +6 and money line at home here. I'm gonna buy 1.5 too. +7.5 is just a sweet spot here, and that's probably what I would preferably do. So we'll take Oklahoma State +7.5 at home. Next matchup, we got a huge matchup here. We got UCLA versus Oregon. Oregon opening up as a 6.5-point home favorite with the over-under at 70.5. UCLA coming into this matchup 6-0, 4-2 covering the spread. Oregon 5-1, 4-2 covering the spread. UCLA 1-9 against Oregon, 3-6 covering against Oregon. They've had no success against Oregon, but to be fair, definitely one of the better UCLA teams that they've had in a long time here. They're playing phenomenal. Undefeated, coming off a huge 42-32 win against Utah, big win against Washington. They've got the good wins here. Oregon coming off that 49-22 win against Arizona. Yeah, going to be a battle here. I think the over is a good play. I know 70 is a lot of points, man, but I could definitely see this hitting. Maybe tease this over, but man, give me UCLA. Going to buy a point. UCLA +7.5. I just think this is going to be a back and forth battle. And we'll take the Bruins +7.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got Mississippi State versus Alabama. Bama opening up as a 21-point home favorite with the over-under at 61. Mississippi State coming into this matchup 5-2, 4-2-1 covering the spread. Alabama 6-1, 4-3 covering the spread. Mississippi State 0-7 on the road against Bama, 0-10 against Bama, 1-6 covering against Bama. No success against Bama here. Mississippi State coming off that 10-point Kentucky loss. Bama coming off that Tennessee loss. Huge, big win for Tennessee, being able to knock Bama off. But I think Bama bounces back today, especially at home. Gonna buy half a point. We'll take Bama minus 20.5 here. Throw them in your money line parlays. I mean, yeah, it's gonna take a lot for Mississippi State to get a road win here. I just don't think they can do it because they really haven't been able to beat Bama in a long time. So we'll take Bama both ways at home. Next matchup, we got Minnesota versus Penn State. Penn State opening up as a 5-point home favorite with the over-under at 43. Minnesota coming into this 4-2, 4-2 covering the spread. Penn State 5-1, 3-3 covering the spread. Minnesota 2-4 on the road against Penn State, where they have struggled. 2-5 in their last 7 against Penn State. So they've struggled against Penn State here. Minnesota on a 2-game losing streak. They've been having trouble score the ball here, scoring 14 and 10 in the last 2 games. Then Penn State coming off that bad Michigan loss here, but I think Penn State bounces back, coming off that horrible loss against a struggling Minnesota team that just can't score. We'll take Penn State minus 5 and money line on or at home. And then the last matchup, we got Kansas State versus TCU. TCU opening up as a 3.5-point home favorite with the over/under at 54.5. Kansas State coming into this 5-1, 4-1-1 covering the spread. TCU 6-0, 4-1-1 covering the spread. Yeah, TCU still undefeated, man. Playing great football here. Kansas State is 6-1 covering against TCU, 4-2 in their last 6 against TCU. So they've been very good against TCU, but there's a different TCU team here playing great football. A lot on the line here. Kansas State on a 3-game winning streak, coming off that 10-9 win against Iowa State. TCU coming off that 43-41 against Oklahoma State, playing good football here. Nice, coming off a nice Oklahoma State, Kansas, Oklahoma win. I mean, this is a good TCU team here. And I'm going to take TCU by a point, make it a minus 2.5 and money line at home. That's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Saturday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.